Welcome to the Best Kept Secrets podcast, where we share our best kept secrets about life, love, God, and everything in between. Hi everyone, welcome back to season 3, episode 4 of Best Kept Secrets, where we share our best kept secrets about God, love, life, and everything in between. I'm so happy that you're back again, that we're back again for yet another episode. And this season, I just really decided that I have come to learn. I am not sharing any points. I'm not writing anything down. I'm here to learn. So our conversation today is about things that we wish or they wish they knew when they turned 30. I am turning 30 soon, and so are my friends. And, we're having a lot of conversations about, okay, so what is 30 going to be like? And I feel like there's a lot of anxieties around turning 30. And I was like, you know what, let me bring some cool people to come and tell us their experiences with that, debunk some things as well, and just make it look a little less scary than we think that it is. So I usually let my guests introduce themselves because I don't want to sell anyone short. So tell us everything you do. Don't hold back. So we can start here.
The elders first. Good evening, viewers. Karibuni watazamaji wapendwa. Sorry, I'm just cracking myself up. My name is Patricia Kihoro, and I am a multi-hyphenate entertainer, creator. I am a singer, an actress. I've worked as a radio and TV presenter. I'm also a film and TV actress, theater as well. I'm an improv comedian. I'm an event host and curator. I work as a music supervisor. I've done that for film and currently for a podcast. And yeah, I'm just a girl.
Girl doing many things.
A Kenyan girl.
Wow.
And there's others I'll remember because I usually miss like 3 or 4 here and there. But yeah, I'm just somebody who's like, I'm a multi-potentialite, which is different from a multi-hyphenate. It just means where I am, if I discover something new that I'd like to pursue, I'll pursue it and give it a chance and see how it goes. Yeah.
Love that for you.
Thank you.
That's great.
The only man on.
So tough coming after that. Okay. Yeah, so my name is Victor, Victor Peace, or better now, Victor Karanja, or Karanja with the intonation. I'm a creator, but more so I'm also a tech manager. What else do I do? Like you've mentioned a bunch of things. I'm like, I have to. There's that, the tech manager, I'm a content creator. I shoot videos.
Wow.
Act in the videos.
I love it.
So that's pretty much who I am. And I think, I'm happy to be here and share my experiences.
Yay.
Yeah, I feel like I've lived 2 lifetimes. Yeah.
Oh, can't wait to hear. Last but not least.
So, hello, everyone and everyone watching. My name is Cris Njoki. I'm an entrepreneur. I run an amazing fashion brand, 100% made in Kenya, run by women. It's honestly my baby, It's my why, it's my passion. But also on top of that, I'm a creator, content creator. And I think that's my outlet to just be goofy because this entrepreneur side can get a bit stiff and serious. And so I like the balance. Yeah.
Great. So we have an amazing group of people here with us. So let's just dive right into it. Do you remember the day you turned 30? What was it like? Did you wake up that day and you're like, wow, I feel different and the air is different and I'm suddenly a new person? Do you remember that day?
Gosh, that was 4 years ago. It feels like ages.
It's
like ages.
I honestly can't remember. Can you guys remember?
Do I remember because I remember my friends and family threw me a birthday party, but it wasn't on the birthday.
Yeah.
The birthday itself, I think I was at home in my apartment, maybe with the guy I was seeing at the time, and then spent the day with friends who just came over. It was very chill, and I think maybe we even went to dinner that night. Like it was very impromptu. I remember because I think it must have been because my aunt and my mom, they gifted me a clock saying, running out of time.
Oh.
They're jokers. They're jokers. Time is running out or something.
That is
There's a clock.
hilarious.
But yeah, I think that the day itself was very chill. Oh, it's the day I also sold my car at the time. I sold my car that day and then I bought a scooter.
Nice.
Yeah. So that particular day I remember, but I didn't feel like, different. I hadn't really had anything building up in terms of anxieties or anything. I just remember one day before, maybe a month before, I was chilling with some friends. I knew, I'm okay, I'm fine.
Yeah.
And I'm just chilling. I think, with some friends. One of them was shooting a music video or something. And I remember we're just chilling, waiting for some place to be opened. And it just hit me. You're turning 30. And I'd been cool. I'd been okay. And I think I just maybe had like an overwhelm of emotion.
Yeah.
And then it passed. And then that was it. But it wasn't about anything. It's just like, oh, wow. I think it was mixed in with gratitude. Like, wow, I get to turn 30. But then also, wow, what a life I've lived. Oh, wow, there's so much to come. Oh, wow, like, will I live to... I think just so many thoughts. So it was like a mix and mash of things.
Yeah.
Felt it, and then it passed, and then...
So no impending doom.
No impending doom.
And I think even, I don't know how it was about you, for you, Patricia, but I know even for me when I turned 30, that was 4 years ago, leading up to it, I never felt any sort of like panic or anything like that. It might be because maybe we were, because I sometimes I think of ourselves as pioneers, like our age group. We're like the older spectrum of the millennials. So then we're the ones sort of leading fast and then everybody else panics after us. So there was really not much talk about like, oh my God, your 30s, and as much as there is right now. I feel like now it's like now us guys have turned and now everyone behind is like, oh no, you know? And so I didn't feel that, at all. And I'm really trying to even get the day in my head and it's just,
It was just another day for you.
It was just, I've also never been big on celebrating birthdays, honestly. So yeah, that's not, but that withstanding, I would have remembered a feeling, but there was no feeling of like, tragedy or like, oh my God, I'm so old, not much, no.
Victor?
Okay. Yeah, I think for me, I remember, I think like 2 weeks before that, like I had this whole thing because everyone was just talking about it. It's like, you're turning 30. And then there's a running joke. It's like, we're going to blow out big balloons written 3 and 0.
Yeah.
And everyone is going to know you're turning 30.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so like there's a sense of pressure in that way, but it never really got to me at that point. But I think there was a moment where I was starting to think about my life. And because like I was hopping around different jobs, different things in my 20s. So I think one of my things, so every time when the year starts, I write these 2 resolutions on a book. And one of them was like, get something stable for this next chapter. And so I think that was now the anticipation, like what will I get and what kind of thing will it be? And then I'd never celebrated my birthday like to such a large extent. So, but this time around, I was like, this 31.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah, so it was like 40 people.
Wow.
Like just shouting, like it was just madness. Yeah. I was like, 30. Yeah, but after that, it just ended. The hype was just. Done.
It's like you build up to this thing and then once you're there, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
back to normal.
Yeah, back to normal.
Time is a construct. Yeah. So it's just defining boxes for ourselves.
So you said how when you were turning 30, one of the things you had set out for yourself is that you wanted something stable. So is it like, because I've heard a lot of people say that when you turn 30, it's like you have a new mindset or you have a new outlook on life. How true has that been in your experiences? Has it pushed you to do things you weren't really thinking of doing, or?
I think for me, I've always been that kind of person who just is open to doing whatever opportunities arise or whatever like rises up to greet me. Like I'll just, I'll go with the flow. I'll be open to stuff. But like, I think maybe, I don't think it's really about the number. I think it's mostly about experiences.
Yeah.
And by the time you turn 30, because it's also not a switch that happens on the day. That now, as I identify as 30, there's things in my brain that like now rearrange themselves. But it's just a gradual, realization of things as you go, depending also on how self-aware you are or how you look at your experiences, if they're lessons or, I think it also just depends on you as an individual. But definitely, I think it has to do with, the number of experiences and the number of people you encounter into your 30s. And then that's when some things just start to shift based on how you choose to then you think, but okay, I knew when I was 25, I shouldn't have done it. So when they say at 30, like you care less, you're a bit, it's mostly because of the experiences that you had by the time you get there. And as you also continue to move through your 30s, it's just things kind of just fall into place as you think about them and reflect.
And I think even just to add on what Patricia is saying, I feel like, in your 20s, one of the most important things that I'm now starting to realize is the importance of starting things or doing things when you're younger in your 20s. So like not waiting until you get to a certain age to be like, okay, I'm going to maybe get this job when I'm like 28 or 29 or whatever. I'm going to start this business when I'm a bit older. It's like the importance, even starting hobbies when you're in your earlier 20s, what it does is by the time you're getting now towards your 30s, you've had so much experience in your youth going through this thing, and it's taught you so many lessons and things. So that even it's not about the switch to 30 to where you start seeing things differently. It's like already now when you're gearing to get into your 30s, you've learned so much already by all these different things you've started, all the things you've thrown yourself into, whatever it may be. And I think that's for me is like one of the most important things is like, if you're in your 20s, imagine just do whatever, like start whatever. If it's business, hobbies, if you want to be social content, whatever, just, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just throw yourself in it. That's your time to learn, to fail, everything. And now those lessons are what create that switch when you're in your 30s, because then you're like, I've done it. So you're not scared anymore. It's like, I've been there type of thing. And now it's just more, what have I learned? What can I, put into my 30s?
So basically live intentionally now. Don't wait until you're 30 to now start doing the things that you've been wanting to do.
Exactly.
But I will say, if you don't do that in your 20s, if say you're 29 and you're approaching 30 and you're thinking, oh crap, I guess I didn't try the things, and then mean 30s now. You can still do that in your 30s and your 40s and your 50s. Like there's no rules either. So I guess that's like such a beautiful message to somebody who's in their early 20s or their mid 20s. Like take this opportunity to, but also just know you can still learn new things in your 30s. You can still have new experiences in your 40s. But if you're 20 right now, just live life.
Dive into everything.
Because actually, like I jumped. I remember when I started, like when I turned 20 or something. So I started doing photography. And then from photography, I did CG marketing. Then I did digital marketing. And then I started training. Like I was doing everything. And then now when I'm like, when I turned 30 is when now I started looking back and I'm like, wait, all these things add up to whatever I'm doing right now.
Where you are.
So like, don't, like, because I know, like, I've met a lot of Gen Zs who we talk about career and all these other things. And they put so much pressure on themselves because they're trying to create perfection at that stage where they're in right now. And you can't, that's the time to experiment. Like, figure out what you like, figure out, like, bounce around. And then eventually bounce around.
Please, copyright. So, what are some things you wish you knew before you turned 30? Because I was saying earlier to people before you guys came that recently I bent down or I squatted to get something from the floor and my bones cracked.
Girl,
and
for the first time.
For the first time, I was like, sorry, what is happening?
That's like a
right
melody.
now?
It's a symphony of my life. It's
Just
like,
learn to love it. It's like
I've seen
your
soundtrack,
by the way.
But this is a soundtrack to your life.
By the way. Just enjoy it.
Just enjoy
it's like
it.
providing you
I
like
honestly
beats.
didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah.
Rock you to sleep.
What are some things you wish you knew before you turned 30?
I wouldn't say I wish I knew, because I everything that happened then happened as it should. So there's no regrets.
Yeah.
But maybe if I was to tell myself, okay, you're turning 20, you're going into your 20s, it would just be like, accept everything as it is.
Yeah.
You know, like some people, their bones start to creak when they're 21. Others, they go into their 50s until, before they hear their first one. But like really just listen to your body, learn to listen to your body, learn to understand your intuition, learn to recognize like your inner voice or your inner gut feeling. And that has to do with anything and everything. Kama ni gym, kama ni, if it's relationships, with friends, with lovers, with family, just, and be open to everything. Nothing, if your bones creak at 21, then mean, oh my goodness, I'm living in a 60-year-old body. It's just your body doing something.
Yeah.
And so I would say, just don't attach, don't let things mean things that they don't. You know what I mean? Like the 30s don't necessarily mean now this has to happen, this has to happen, this has to happen. Just be open, follow your gut, and maybe what I would say to myself is just try give 100 at everything that you do. That's definitely advice I would give myself. Try give 100. Don't be afraid or failing or this. Just give 100 at whatever. Yeah.
Ai, bado mnafikiria.
Thinking.
There was like a common flow here, like it bounces from
No,
that.
I'll pick it up because it's actually quite similar. Mine is quite similar. But it's just, don't put energy and effort in things that you don't have control over. If it's something that you cannot control, it could be something simple like, oh my gosh, I hope the weather is good today. You have a 50-50 chance that it might not be good. And then immediately you're like crushing your spirit because then if the weather is not good, it's like it affects how you feel and everything. And it's like just going into life, just being like, it is what it is, and what it is, I will take it and we'll make the best of it, Yeah, I think that for me has been the biggest thing. I'm just like, I wish I knew that in my 20s. I'd have saved so much time, overthinking and analyzing and trying to be perfect and like, So that's a big one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think for me, it was more so not to rush into things because I felt like I was running on a clock when I was in my 20s. So trying to do as much as I can to
Before you
achieve
turn 30.
as much as possible.
Yeah.
And I think I laid out like, maybe it comes from, I think I was telling you this before, like the fact that I'm an
You
Am
are.
I?
You are.
I am. Yeah, I'm an only child to my mom. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it came with a lot of pressure where I wanted to start a family early. I needed to make, and for me to do that, I needed to make money early. I needed to get my things figured out early. So there's a lot of pressure in that sense. And I could see how, and I can see how it brought me to this point where I'm at right now. And I have no regrets based on where I am right now. But looking back at what I did was, I felt like it was very rushed. So I'd tell someone who's like in their 20s right now, don't feel that you need to rush for anything. And in fact, like you don't know anything at that time, especially if you're like under 25.
It's true.
Like you might think you really know what you're doing, but trust me, like later
know
on,
nothing.
Yeah,
you'll
you
be
know
like,
nothing,
what?
Jon Snow. Nothing at all, yeah.
And something I've come to learn just recently is that it's one thing to know things, but it's another to actually live the things you know or experience them, or to like not necessarily put them into place, but to actually live the things that you know.
Yeah.
Because, for instance, I can give an example. I used to think courage was
Cowardly dog.
Oops. What the cowardly dog.
Victor. Na nilikuwa na point very, this was such a deep moment. It's fine. It's okay. Yes, courage was the cowardly dog. But also courage. I used to think courage is, okay, here's something that I fear and I'm scared. And I just need to like, get rid of the fear, just psych myself up. And then when I feel like niko na sasa nguvu, then I do the thing. Until just as recently as 2 days ago, I had to do something that I was so afraid of. And I remember I was shaking and telling myself, there's no other time but now.
Yeah.
So I had to do it as I was shaking. And that's when I knew, courage. When they say, courage is not the absence of fear, but you can know the things, you can
You know all
read
the
them,
quotes, all
but
the
but actually like
doing
knowing
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what that means. And sometimes it could be an experience that teaches you that, because you can read. I love to read. Mimi nakuanga kimbelembele sana. I will research everything, learn everything. Facts like this. I hyper focus on learning different things, but I'm only just understanding now that knowing and really experiencing that knowledge are two different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually a concept that I learned about recently as well. It's called praxis. So it's the intersection between doing what you know and knowing what you know. So you have to actually apply the things you know. It's called praxis. So in everything that you do, I try to ask myself, am I achieving praxis? Am I, because sometimes like you're saying, but you're not doing. You have all this information, you have this all of
Right.
this knowledge, but you're not actually acting it out. So yeah, it's called praxis, and it's a thing that I have to keep reminding myself, am I actually doing what I know I'm supposed to do, or what I know I should be doing? So yeah. Also, just to off a tangent, what do you feel about the goalposts that society has given us for turning 30? Because I think that's what really fuels the anxieties. It's you should get married at 30, you should start having children,
Yeah.
you should, be in a stable job, you should be do this, you should be that. So what do we do about those goalposts?
I think it's important to recognize that we don't create those goalposts for
Yeah.
ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So it's how we grow up, how we are socialized, the communities that we are brought up in, the families we find ourselves in. And so, if, by way of even in school, when you hear other kids talking about this or that, we pick up so many things. And so, our socialization usually is what determines how we see the world and how we show up in the world and how we experience our lives, right? I think we should give ourselves grace for that, because, a lot comes with socialization. But if we can also learn to recognize what is taught to us, what we believe is true, and then what we want for ourselves.
Yeah.
And if we can learn how to make our own choices, devoid of anybody else's influence, pushing, I think it would help a lot of us, even me with my
Yeah.
close to 40. I think it would help a lot of us if we're able to then eliminate those goalposts that are, we're socialized to live by.
Yeah.
Me, I did not sign up to be a footballer or a rugby player. And thankfully, I think also my parents, kind of really allowed me to experience life as is, even though there's the questions of, so now what are you going to do now, you have to do this or da da da. That was there, but they never really made me feel like if I don't do this, then I'll be shunned or I'll be disappointing them or anything of that sort. So I'm grateful for the parents that I have, but I did still feel some,
Pressure.
oh, okay, now
Yeah.
I don't have kids yet. I know I want kids, I want very many children.
Yeah.
And then with time I had to learn actually to unpack all those things for myself. Is it me who wants those kids? Or is it I want them because,
Yeah.
fine, I wasn't feeling pressure at 28, but now at 32, then I was like, actually, I do want children, but I
Yeah.
know how I want them.
Yeah.
And I know, I'm not going to give myself pressure. And I had to work through a lot of, guilt of my parents, I'd love to give them grandchildren, but is that why I want to have a child?
Yeah.
Because a child is not, a toy
Just
that,
yeah.
something, it's not even a car that, yes, it's a big responsibility,
Yeah.
but you can, you can sell it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things I've had to kind of manage and sit with and just be like, wait, did I want this for myself? The disappoint, sometimes feeling disappointed in myself because I haven't done this or that, and then to sit with it and be like, is it, am I disappointed because I didn't do it? Or am I disappointed because I didn't do it because others
You're
expected me
disappointing
to?
other people.
Yeah. So if you can sit with yourself and just unpack those things, I think it can unburden a lot of people.
Yeah. And I think also, when you're at that age, because of these sort of social constructs that have been put and placed in you throughout your entire life, it becomes difficult to sort of figure out what you want versus what everybody else expects. And even trying to, I know you said, Patricia, like, you know, if you can just like really hone in on your mind and see what you want, it's difficult. Like when you're in that space, honestly, 25, 26,
whatever.
yeah, you don't know. Literally what you know is what you've known your whole life. And it's like, that's all that's in your head. And I think one thing that can really help is sort of even stepping out of your comfort zones in terms of who you know. And the people you hang around, right? So maybe that's where the hobbies would come in. Maybe just getting to see, because at that age, you're still looking at people in their 30s as adults. They're like, yo, those are big people. And then you get to meet them like, these are the big people that you used to think. And I was like, I'm just so not big. I'm not even, you know, like, and when you get to interact with them on a deeper level, instead of looking at them there, it's like, those are the 30s. And then as the 20s are here because we're youth. When you interact with them, you realize, actually, these guys are even in a worse place than us, probably. They're like, we're the same. Yeah, they just have more years under their belt, but really, they're going through the same issues, same everything. You know, all of those things that we fear and we're worried about, it's the same, just with a couple more years and a bit more experience with them. And I think it now slowly starts removing this idea we have in our heads when you're younger of, oh my God, I need to do this before I get to this age, you know? Because then you realize you'll get to that age and that thing you are rushing to do doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that would really help sort of just deshroud, if that's a word. It's like just uncover all of these things that have been set in your brain just to see that, yes, these people did it, but look at them. It didn't make them like greater or bigger or worse or anything. It's like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I think for me, in the sense of...
I don't know, I just want to laugh. Sorry. Continue.
Hata sijaanza jokes.
Anakuanga tu mfani.
Nakuanga hivyo, gosh. Yeah, no, but I always say that, like for me, getting married was both, like, there's a negative side to it, but there's also like the positive side. And the positive for me right now that I've unpacked over the past couple of months is the fact that I did what society wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you wanted me to get married. That happened.
There you go.
Yeah.
So now getting out of that whole thing and now being on this other side, I'm just like, there's this awakening that happened when I turned 30. And I was like, wait a minute, this is actually my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in as much as my mom wants whatever
Grandchildren
these things,
and
from me, I feel like she has had, and I think we had a conversation with her. It was like, it was super crazy, but I was like, you've lived your life
yeah.
up until this point. You were able to make your own choices. In fact, you didn't even have siblings. So like, or even like your parents weren't there, unfortunately, but you were able to make your decisions solely up until this point. So now it's my turn. Like, this is my show now. So let me run it. So I'm like, and I think that's very important to understand that in as much as everyone wants to project their fears and expectations on you so that they can live their life through you vicariously, then you need to understand that this is your life and you have to do what makes sense for you and what makes you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Are you feeling like kuna mangoma? There are some songs you were just in the club like partying. It's my life. Now it's making sense. Now it's making sense. Like it's my life. Don't rush. It's like don't rush. Praxis of the gomas of the club. Yes.
Yeah, like I wake up sometimes and I'm like, wait, this is me. This is for me. Yeah, it makes life more enjoyable.
Yeah. It's interesting you talked about marriage because I recently had to have a conversation with myself. I called myself for a small meeting and I was just like, a lot of my friends and people around me are getting married because we're all around the same age. And I was just like, I know I want marriage, but what are my reasons for wanting marriage? Do I want it because it's what is expected for me to do at the age where I'm at?
Yeah.
So I even now, I haven't yet. I was just like, I need to at least come up with 5 good reasons before I get there of why I actually want marriage. Because I was just like, you know what? Just because everyone around me is getting married and just because I'm at the age where people typically get married doesn't mean I have to get married as well. And I feel like there's a lot of pressure around, especially on women. And I keep saying this a lot. And the men fight me in the comments, but I'm like, you can't, no, you're not a woman.
Yeah.
But especially on women when they turn 30s, like, hey, umeanza kuzeeka,
Sana,
utatuletea
yeah.
mtu lini, na tutoto, na sijui nini. Kwanza the aunties and things.
Yeah.
If you go to a family gathering, everyone is just like, hey, ujakuja na mtu, sijui nini. You know what I mean? And I was just like, I don't want to, like Victor is saying, I don't want to do what is expected of me just because it's expected of me. I have to have my own reasons within myself where I'm just like, okay, I want children, like you were saying, because of this and this and this. I want marriage because of this and this and this. So it's very hard also to make those rules for yourself, to step out of what society expects you to do. And they will label you many things, and they'll say many, huyo hata tuli give up, huyo hata waeolewa, huyo hata, and I've seen people in my family who are older than I am, and they're not married and they don't have kids, and the things that, people say behind their backs. And I really empathize with it, because I'm just like, where was it written? Show me.
It must, yeah.
Where it was written that you must be married and have children at this age. So
something interesting is also defining for yourself what these things are for yourself.
Yeah.
So like, yes, marriage is, people will pressure you to get married, but what is marriage to you? Because is it this idea that society has taught you it is, and why it's important?
Yeah.
Because, it's something that we say quite a bit here in Nairobi. How many people are broken up? Like, how many people are getting divorced? And a lot of times you'll find somebody just saying, it's not what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Unamchekelea.
It's like money for
he laughed at himself.
Unajichoma.
Anajichekelea.
But like, if you ask some people who've gone through, these things that, even just like things that we define as success, you know, whether it's marriage, it's a great job, it's, you have your house and you bought this car, and what society deems as markers of success. But then you find people who have achieved all of these things still unhappy, or still just saying, hey, there's just something still isn't
still
right.
Not quite, yeah.
Earrings are really musical today. But then, so it just means you define for yourself first what these things are. Then you can then say, okay, then I know I want that. Because you might say, yes, you want marriage, but then your reasons, if you sit down with somebody who's been married before, and then you talk to them about your reasons, and they're like, well, that's actually not what it is, or maybe you need to shift your expectations of this. Whether it's relationships, it's so many things. Even somebody can have such a great job. You think they're living the life, high flying, making money, and they're unhappy because they thought it would mean a certain thing. Yeah. But really, when they're there, it's like, it's not what I
up for this.
It's not what I thought it would be. So when you're able to define for yourself, even, and by the way, all these things don't have to happen at one time either. It's just, as you learn, as you hear, as you become aware of these things, whatever time it comes to you, it's okay.
Yeah.
Just do it then. Because sometimes also people will be like, oh my God, you guys look so great together. You should get married. You make such a beautiful bride. Like it might not even be like you should be married now. Comments just, oh my God, you guys, I can just imagine your wedding photos. Or have you thought
your
of this?
kids?
Can
imagine your kids.
And these things kind of like zinaingia hapa na pale, right?
They just fuel you.
They just fuel you. So I can say this is maybe a big piece of advice that I can share, is that anytime anybody asks me why this or that, why not this or that, I just say, in God's time. Nobody can question God's time.
That's true.
They're just like,
there's no question after that.
Like, true.
In God's time. And I mean it. And I really, truly mean it.
Yeah.
Because before, it used to not necessarily make me feel, gosh, I haven't done this. It would actually annoy me. Like, it's my life.
Yeah.
Let me, like, it's mine. And sometimes because, you want to be respectful, there's the aunties who are like, hey, we want to eat jahe. And I know exactly what you mean.
Literally, that's what they say.
And it's just, imagine it will come in God's time. In God's time. Because I'm figuring so many things out. I'm learning so many lessons. I'm making a lot of mistakes. I'm I'm experiencing a lot of wins and successes, and that's what my life looks like. And I need to define for myself. I've come to learn I need to define for myself every day. Okay, so what does this thing that is expected look like for me?
Yeah.
And am I ready? Do I want it?
Yeah.
You know? So when I tell people, I actually would love to be married. I'd love to have children. I'd love to, but I know I will only do those things in my own time, in my own way, in the way that I feel is right for me to experience it. Yeah.
Period.
Right.
So also, I just wanted to ask, what are some things they don't tell us about turning 30? It could be the most minute, insignificant thing to a really big thing. But what are some things they don't tell us?
Hey, you get tired and the hangovers are worse. They start just getting worse.
You need a nap every day.
You need a nap every day.
I need to
see your
sleep. Like, I
stories
have to
of
nap.
you taking a nap.
Actually took a nap before coming. I was like,
Naps, yeah.
Yeah.
Naps are like...
Also that
Wonderful.
you need different or newer methods of losing weight quickly than you did when you were younger. So, when you're younger, you just say, okay, I'm gaining weight. Let me just not eat for 1 week. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Right now, it's like you have to not eat for like a month, go to
Run.
the gym like every day. This is like so many things you need to do. So you have to just keep coming up with new,
Yeah, your body will change or your body might stay the same, but just be open to your body could show you
Change.
things.
Yeah,
Could
you need to
show
do a lot of
you
maintenance as well.
things.
Yeah.
Hey,
Like going for checkups, like be
For sure.
You can't be carefree
Filanga free too
as
like
you used
this.
to be before.
and then sleep is important.
Very important.
What are
Oh my
naps
God,
even?
yes.
Sleep.
Look at her eyes.
Like a
Just
full
like,
night's
God.
sleep.
Sleep is important.
Full
Wacha
night's sleep,
nikwambie.
yeah.
Wacha nikwambie. Yes.
Full night.
It's nice. Okay. I mean, wow.
How many hours?
When
what's
we
your
were young,
minimum?
no.
Yeah.
When we were younger and we'd be like,
fight the
no,
sleep.
we'd be like, let me say younger, like 20s, early 30s. You're
yeah.
like, this guy, he just sleeps.
Yeah.
Like, like you.
I have so
Now
much
it's
energy.
like, Abu Harakisha, I need to sleep. Like things shift,
Wow,
like,
sindio.
like since I was a child, I was not a morning person. Like since I snoozed my birth, I was due on Christmas Day.
He said Z.
I said, see, mimi niko poa. Wakagojea at least New Year's. Guys, please, I'm not done.
Yeah, that was a major
I
snooze.
chose the most random, the 4th of January. Do you know what's happening on the 4th of January?
Guys are going back to school.
People are going back to school, so they're just
Yeah.
they're just grumpy.
No one is thinking
People
about a birthday.
Are tired after partying.
Yeah.
Like it's also if it was mid-Jan,
Yeah.
maybe at least people have
4th
recovered.
of Jan, guys are broke.
People are broke. School fees imelipwa. Asking you know what it feels like to be told your textbooks are your birthday present. It's the gift of
Aw.
education.
They wrap it.
Thank you,
I love
thank you.
it.
Like I appreciated that, but like it's just to the point where I was like, there's no point throwing parties because guys are just
not to celebrate.
they've been
Guys are
partying, they're
stressed.
done with parties. They're just guys are just stressed. Guys are chilling.
Yeah.
They're still hungover. So I'm not a morning person. I've never been my entire life, but now. One of the things that I get excited about is when I get a good night's sleep. Like if there's any new piece of information that will help me sleep better, I will
taking it.
utilize it. I will utilize it.
I'm with
Na
you there.
supplement.
I'm with you.
Weka tape kwa mdomo. Like I look so guys, it's holy grail. Let me just tell you, it seems ridiculous. And then you see, I'm the kind of person who will also read about something and be like, and read the reviews, read all the bad things people will say about it, but I'll try it. And then in my experience, if it works, I'm just like, let me just tell you.
Which one has worked?
All of them, all the things I'm just like,
Tip condomo, babe.
So this
Like,
listen guys. Listen guys. And of course, read up about it, do your
Yeah.
own research.
Yeah,
but
I'm about
it's
to.
literally just it's about nose breathing and mouth breathing.
Nice.
So
Okay. Makes sense.
people have found that mouth breathers, so when you sleep, or even when you're awake, there are people who just sit like this.
Yeah.
You don't, but they talk about how the nose is designed for breathing, right? So yes, you can breathe through your mouth as well, but the nose and how it's the hairs, the everything in the nose, and it's designed for breathing and making the air that you inhale optimized for your body, right?
Okay.
So at night, if you are a mouth breather as well, you're not necessarily getting the benefits of the air that you inhale, and it can even affect like your dental health, the shape of your face, the quality of like what you experience in the morning, like clarity, mental clarity. And so me, of course, because I'm very close to 40 and sleep is valuable to me, I'm willing to try anything. So the first night I was like, sasa ni sellotape, ama ni duct tape or what?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm not putting, like, no. So luckily I had boob tape. Right? And see, boob tape is made for skin. Boob tape is made for skin. So I was like, I'll try it.
Wow.
So the first night, I funked myself like I'm being kidnapped. I can't even
That's what
lie.
I'm thinking. If anyone entered your house at that point, I'm like, bitch, is already doing what I can. Like, what's going on?
And you know, there was the concerns. Will I feel like I'm suffocating?
Yeah.
But I was like, let me just try it. Let me not even think about it. Let me just try it. So the first night, I woke up the next morning. The last time I woke up in the morning, like clear. I need time to snooze. I woke up. I feel not energized, like go, 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 but not groggy.
Yeah. You're not
and I was
snoozing.
just like, Then I can't talk. I'm like, oh, need tape. Alafu, removing it. And I was like, wow, that's interesting.
Okay.
So then after that, I started cutting it into smaller pieces. So it's literally just a strip like this that I put on, like,
just to keep it shut.
just to keep it shut. And I found on the nights I forget, and I'm not here to sell it, by the way. This is just my thing.
Link in bio.
Yeah, it's just my thing. But I found even on the nights that I forget, I can tell if I've slept with my mouth closed the whole night, because one of the ways you can tell is that your mouth won't be dry.
I see.
There's people who've spoken about, they did it for a year. They took a picture, like they compared pictures of day one maybe, or the early days, and a year later, the shape of your face changes, your posture.
What?
People who struggle with like teeth, like cavities and whatnot, they're like less cavities, less dental issues. Sense, and then there were some people who just say, this is crap. It's not many. It's just because of course there's the people who are selling now mouth tape, specialized for it. Really, I'm just using the boob tape that I had in my house. But the point was, sleep becomes so valuable. I've not had a drink in a while. Almost 2 months, just to like experience.
The beauty.
Because hangovers also, they become brutal. I used to be that chick of shots, drinks. And then the next morning, clear skin, wake up even earlier. That changed. I used to be I don't get hangovers. I don't get hangovers. Oh, you tell me now you don't get hangovers, I might just kick you. So things will change. Priorities will shift. Partying might be a priority. Sleep might become the priority. Drama and like intense relationships where you just feel the weight of the world. Somebody was commenting about Olivia Pope saying how she didn't want like peace and regular and just normal. She wanted painful, consuming, and devastating,
passionate.
And I remember the first time I watched it, I was like, yes that's what I want too. Now, somebody shared on their stories, and I was just like, no, peace is so nice.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Peace.
Just
Over to you.
Yeah.
Over to you.
Okay,
over to you.
tell us.
No,
Other than the midday naps,
actually, that's all I need.
just
Like
a
if
nap.
I sleep during the day, I'll be on fire like the whole time. Because I split my day into two. So I have to feel like I've woken up twice. So for example, so I wake up for
There's an
content
info, it's-
creation. I do everything. Then I have to sleep again and then wake up again. And then I'm like, now for work. Yeah, but then, I don't get hangovers.
He's I was
I'm like-
by the way nilikuwa na nini, because imagine we go for events for work and he's just like, me, I don't get hangovers. I'm just like, shut up.
Ever.
I just wake up and I move. Actually, I have this thing where I wake up every day at 7, religiously without an alarm. So even if I slept at 3
Wow.
or
Is it your problems waking you up?
how did you know? Therapy.
I I heard it's a thing.
No, actually, I don't know. I always feel FOMO when I'm asleep.
Wow.
Okay.
Like, what's going on out there? Can't
So
sleep
you're
for too
probably
long.
sleeping with your mouth open just because of the FOMO.
Wow.
Sounds like an
You
intervention.
know, mine is the opposite. Like, I feel, my
oh
dreams.
my God. Who sent you?
My dreams are so tamu. So mine is the opposite. Like, I look forward to going to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
And when
Yeah.
sleep is over, I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay,
same.
the day's here.
Yeah, same. I'm just like, can I just sleep a little bit more?
Yeah.
Chris, anything that?
Yeah. Do you sleep with your mouth open?
Oh no.
I probably do. I'm not lying. I probably do.
Anything they don't tell us about being 30? Other than the sleep and the hangovers and the bones cracking.
Yo, those bones though, like mine is crazy. Like even in the gym, my instructor is like, yo, are you all right? Oh my God. I go down, coming up, it's like,
Transformers.
I think the other thing I'd say is like, and I don't know if this applies for everybody, but I know for myself, definitely, I find out now that I'm older or in my 30s, is like, I appreciate silent moments a lot more. And so before, and I've always been like pretty social, like I like being around people and all that. I felt like in my 20s, I could do it back to back to back to back. And I'm just like always constantly around people, around noise. You know, it's always something happening. But now it's like, actually, I just want to go home, you know, and just be like by yourself for the night and just shh. There's moments I've caught myself in the house and I just shout, just wow, because I haven't spoken a word.
I know what you mean.
So long.
When you realize you haven't spoken to anybody or just to
Said
your
nothing in like 2 days. I'm like, wait, Njoki, what's up? You know, just like,
check if your voice still sounds the same.
you know, even in the mirror, you know. So it's like, I think I never ever saw that coming. And now it's just appreciating those silent moments and just being it's you completely 100%. Like there's no distractions of it. And there's times even my phone will be on do not disturb for like hours on end. And it's just you know, and you're able to really hone in on whatever it is that is happening, mind, body, and soul. And I think that is just so undervalued when you're in your 20s. And maybe there's a time for everything, because even at that time, maybe you don't need that kind of silence. But now it's like, whoa, you know? It's like really, really, really good.
That's so interesting because I feel like I already do that.
Yeah.
Maybe because I am naturally introverted. But I remember when I was in my early 20s, I was always down to bash. Like I was always down to go meet people, down to like, oh, where are we going? Where are we hanging out? What are we doing? What are we wearing? Now you have to give me like a week notice. I have to check my schedule.
Yeah.
I have to like psych myself up. I have to be in the mood. I have to like find an outfit. Like it's just so much. And I've realized even with my friends, we're all now the same. Like we can't just like we're not just as spontaneous as we were when we were in our early 20s, because I have majority of the same friends.
Okay.
Yeah. So now we're just like, okay, guys, we need to plan for November. We're going to go here. We're going to do this. Then you start planning now in October about November.
Yeah.
Which I guess also now some of them have kids, some of them are married. So you have to factor in those things. But for people in their early 20s, imagine enjoy.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the only difference is that you have more money or you have money that's your own. So yeah. So what are like the positive things about being 30 that they also don't tell us about?
I think you become more confident, you know, just because you've experienced more. I feel like there's a confidence that comes with having done something for a long time and sort of also knowing what or who you are and what makes you tick, what you don't like. I feel like in your 20s, we're still very tiptoeing around who we are, what we like, what we don't like, because we're also still trying to sort of be part of, like, find a tribe, find a community. So you're trying to like not upset anybody, and it's like, oh, you know. And so what I love so much now, it's just you can be more authentically yourself without too much of fear, because you've already sort of settled into the things you know you're into. You sort of have these nice pockets of friends and groups of people who, you know, your support system. And so there isn't much fear. And so that really brings out this confidence of, this is me and I'm unapologetic. And if you don't like it, you know, wow.
Yeah. I actually agree with
like
that.
that.
Yeah. So you get like to be free to exercise who you are
Yeah.
without being apologetic for it. And then, yeah, like you just live life as yourself.
Yeah.
Wewe ni mtu mkubwa, kuna mtu atakuchapa. So if you want to do something like, and then there's also like an elevated level of, sense of competence because of how old you are. So now things you wanted to do maybe at 25, maybe if you wanted to go speak at a board meeting at 25 and you stood there and you said you're 25, it was like, 25. But now after you're 30, now it's like you're expected to know things and you're expected to be competent. So whatever you say now just flies easier than before, at least in my case. So, yeah.
Okay.
I think there's also like a sense of self-assuredness.
Yeah.
And, you know, first I want to preface this by saying this is not exclusive to your 30s. You can also get to this point in your 20s or even in your teens. And I think my experience of my 20s was very different from what 20-year-olds are experiencing now, just because there's so much more avenues to glean information, to share information. So you can actually learn more about yourself a lot faster. But I think when you know yourself and then you start to accept yourself, maybe this is a piece of advice, but also like a positive, is like you get more comfortable with who you are. So if you're different from your peers in this way, and maybe it's a quirk that you have that not other people share, before maybe you might have been like, okay, this I'll keep to myself.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a thing that I do. But now you're more just like settled in yourself. Like, this is who I am. This is what I like to do. This is, you know, me, I like wearing Kenyan clothes, you know, from way back in the day. But now it's just more like I'm bold about it. I love Kenyan music. I love, those were things I have to share like earlier back. And, you know, my 20s, almost 20 years ago. Wow. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. But yeah, at some point, sometimes people would just be like, you know, this is cool, this is not cool. But I liked it. I liked different things. That was my thing. With time, you become more bold about it. Not even just accepting, but you become bold about showing yourself. And another like positive is maybe by the time you get to this point, you realize you can give yourself more chances. You know, like, because I came into my 30s and still like life was not figured out.
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh, there's people in their 60s who are figuring things out. So I think there's also a sense of giving yourself grace and allowing yourself to just be like, oh, okay, life has done this and that. Okay, cool. I can try again. I can start over.
That's great. So with everything having been said, I know there are people who are turning 30 or are already in their 30s, and or even in their 20s, and they're feeling left behind. Like life is going on for everyone and they feel left behind. What do we say to those people?
Bye.
What did you say?
I feel like you let your intrusive thoughts win.
Yeah, because me, I had an intrusive thought, but I kept it in. I was about to say left behind like those rapture movies, you know.
You just say yours out loud.
What did you
Wait,
say?
you want me to know? I didn't say anything.
Okay,
Right.
What did you say?
I didn't hear anything.
Bye. He said bye.
Oh my gosh. Bye. Bye. Victor. Wow.
Okay, Victor. Seriously though.
Okay. Yeah, I always say time is a construct. Like, it's in your mind. So we set up goals for ourselves, and it's important to do that. I see why, because it gives life purpose, where you want to achieve something at a particular point. But I think there's a level of acceptance that you need to have to understand that not everything goes how you want it to go. But also, if you are aligned, and that's something that I've learned over the past 2 years, that if you're aligned and your energy and where you're supposed to be and everything is intact, and eventually it's going to happen. So you don't need to rush things. Just let it flow. Yeah, because there's no pressure. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and it's all in God's time, you know. I think one thing I do like to encourage, not only just anyone in their 20s, just anybody in general, is there's going to be good days and bad days forever. Like,
Yeah.
it's not going to change when you miraculously turn 30 and everything seems good. But what I do like to do for myself is to make sure I put small goals for myself on a daily basis. And like, if I achieve this small little thing, then that day was a good day. And it can be as simple as one. So for me, it's like if I wake up when my alarm rings, that's a win for me. And another one is if I do anything, however small it is, for my business, right? And it can be anything. Think up a new idea, do some research, pick up a phone call, whatever. Now, if I do any of those two things that day, it doesn't matter how bad everything else has been. I know, you know what? I had a win today, you know? And so if I feel like for anybody struggling and I'm feeling I haven't achieved what I need, I'm getting left behind, all that. Yes, it starts by setting some big goals for yourself, but also breaking them down into really tiny goals that you do every day. And it doesn't have to be something taxing, but you know, you're starting to build your resilience, and you're starting to tell yourself in your mind that I am a goal achiever. You know, by doing those small goals every day, that's how you end up achieving the bigger ones. You know, and so it's a really easy way to sort of just try and psych yourself up, get yourself in this rhythm of, you know, I'm setting goals, I'm achieving them. I'm setting goals. So when you get to the big one, it's like, you know what? Just like the others, I'm going to set this one and I'll achieve it. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I would say also life is not linear. You know, it's not now because you'll go through your 20s and then you live life and experience it. Then in your 30s, you'll be like, okay, now I know my lessons. And then now you'll continue. And then now things now will just be great because I did this and this and this like that. Oh, no. Oh, no. Life is just, it's like, it can throw you curveballs.
Yeah.
You know, like things could be good one day and then the next day they're not, right? And you have to be open to that, you know, because life can show you things
Yeah.
and it can feel, you know, debilitating. And you think, what has this all been for?
Yeah.
Right? But I think when you start to take ownership of your choices, you'll feel more in control of your life no matter how it goes, right? And you'll be able to sort of weather the storms better. It doesn't mean, okay, this will come, okay, I'm fine. But you'll be able to weather it better and you learn to honor your feelings, to honor your experiences, but to believe in yourself that you can start again or continue or, you know, weigh what is the phrase? Measure your losses. What's it? Weigh your losses.
Weigh your losses.
Yeah.
Cut your losses.
Cut
What?
your losses.
Yeah.
Yes. You can cut your losses and then continue from here. You'll be a bit more comfortable with failure.
Yeah.
And it will help you just kind of know that life is unpredictable, but I am here experiencing it fully as myself. And that means whatever comes my way, because I own my choices, I still am in control of my life.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. Like I feel today like I'm starting over in some things, you know? And I think I'm different from who I was last week because I've learned the meaning of actual courage. I've learned the meaning of meaning. I've learned the phrase like life is what you make it.
Yeah.
We're the ones who give our lives meaning in the sense that we're the ones who decide what this means to me. So I do feel like I'm starting over, but it's okay. Just because I'm 37, about to turn 38, if I then start to make it mean that, hey, I'm really falling behind. At 38, I should have figured this out. I shouldn't be starting over with this, or I shouldn't be learning that from mistakes that, no, it's just the way it is. It's like he said, it's the journey is different. You could be on Mombasa Road with somebody, you guys are in the same car, right? Mombasa Road, you're both going down. And then you see their car starts going faster. and you think, oh, even me, I have to go faster. But you're going where? You're going to turn into Kitengela. Sindio, you don't know where this other person is going.
Yeah.
Unaenda tu unajaribu kumpita. This person is going to Mombasa and they want to get there by a certain time. But in your trying to show him that you have the same car, you can go just as fast, you might miss your turning to Kitengela.
Yeah.
Then you realize after you've passed, but we're not going to the same place. You'll turn around, you learn your lesson there. Hey, I don't have to race with everybody. My journey is different. Then you'll still go to Kitengela. But yeah.
I love that
I've
analogy
never had
so
an analogy,
much.
a Kitengela
that's
analogy.
It's a good
that's
Mi
a
analogy.
great
nakuanga
analogy.
hivyo.
Analogous.
Yeah, metaphors,
Yeah.
analogies, nakuanga.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very analogous.
It resonated with what you're saying about like doing a number of things to build your confidence. And personally, that's what, like, I've seen it work a lot in the sense that, so for example, like every time I either go out or every month, I'll try to do something really like life changing and threatening. So like I'll paraglide or like recently I wanted to go do shark cage diving, whatever. And every time I do all these things and see it through, it makes me more confident in who I am without everything else. So even if I do something and it doesn't work out, I know inside me, because I've done a number of things to the end and I've seen them through, then this is just a phase. So I don't need to feel like I'm a failure or anything. I just know I have what I require within me to get there, regardless of what has happened. Yeah.
Hey, the points are giving.
Shark cage diving.
You're like
Me, I feel like I'm the opposite, because I've done scary things, and the last like super scary thing I did, maybe that I remember, was in Soweto, the free fall. And I did it the first time, and I was like, why did I do that? Then I was like, but I didn't record. I have a GoPro.
You did it again?
So I went to run to get the GoPro and to put it over here so that I do it again and get that angle. I did it the second time. And then my reasoning was, kwanza the second time, because I know what's coming.
Yeah.
I did the second time, my shoe even came off. I was like, why did I do that? Why did I do that?
That would have been enough. Yeah.
Then from then on, I was just like, by the way, see your must kila saa ati. It's in fact, it's okay. It's okay. It's fine.
To just exist.
Yeah.
It's fine. Do you have any closing points? Any something that's really burning you want to say? You can look at your designated camera and tell us. Kama una pia ni sawa.
I think I can say just like really value your relationships, the connections that you make with people. Don't take them for granted. That can be that one. I just really like value and appreciate and make sure the people that you love know that, and don't take them for granted. I would also say learn to take responsibility for your actions. It's very easy to get into a cycle of being the victim. This happened to me, or they did this to me, and I'm not saying change it and say I was the cause of that, but just own your choices in whatever happens. And it's also okay to just own that person did this, but communicate, right? And that will give you like a bit more control of your life. And just work on being more self-aware, like learn yourself, spend more moments with yourself. Because once you get really in touch with who you are, you'll be more firm in the things you do, the things you experience, in the things you try out. You'll be more okay with failure, because failure won't be a reflection of you're not good enough, but a reflection of I tried that. I did that and it didn't work out, but this is what I learned from it, because failure is not a bad thing. It's just something that you learn from. So hayo ndio
Maoni yako.
maoni yangu ya kwa sasa. Kuna zingine but tutamalizia hapo. Thank you.
Text.
All right. Everyone's looking. Parting shot, I think I'd say make time to do things that you really enjoy and things you like, okay? Because I think with doing that is where you really start to realize your purpose, or the things that actually set your soul on fire. Like, don't just do the things that are there to be done, like work, school, hang out with friends, go out at night. Like, these are all things sour. But like, truly, truly, if you sit down and you think, and you could get it from anywhere, you could maybe be watching TikToks or YouTubes or whatever. Those things you watch where you're just like, oh, that looks interesting. Maybe I should try. No, but I'm lazy. No, try it. Actually try. And especially just things with your hands, things that take up time that are not, because honestly, those things that spark up interest in your mind, those are the things, if you start learning more about it and start indulging, and it now starts creating this other part of your life that is not what everyone else is. That's what everyone else is doing, nothing that's expected of you. And you start building this sort of thing that's so unique to you, and you never ever know where that's going to take you, And so I'd say spend time. And really, and it entails, or it really needs you to be vigilant and be observant. Like, what really makes you happy? Like, what really you look and you're like, you want to take a second look and you're curious. That curiosity, build on it, And I feel like that would only lead to good things. Yeah.
I love that, because I try every week to at least do one thing for my inner child.
Nice.
So either I have a Saturday morning tradition where I watch an animation, just a random movie.
Yeah.
I watched Frozen. I'd never watched Frozen.
Ever?
I watched Frozen. I was like, oh, my inner child was
so
like,
nice.
I get it. I get the hype.
Yeah.
Have you watched Coco?
Yeah, I have.
I haven't watched Coco. What's
what?
Coco?
Oh, you'll cry.
CO.
Did you cry?
Of course.
Yeah, it's very emotional.
Yeah, it's very
but like,
emotional.
do things for your inner child.
Yeah.
Do things that, like you were saying, set your soul on fire. That's how that curiosity that we had as children, keep that alive within you. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'd say progress over perfection. So like whatever you're doing right now, in as much as it looks like it's not making sense, just keep doing it. The thing is, don't stop. So like, as long as you're keeping, like you're doing things within your life, and sometimes it may not make sense, but eventually in the grand picture, after a few years, you'll look back and you'll be like, wait, I see why all these things had to be done, right? And then the other thing, I think this is like the most important thing right now in my mind and in my life, is that just always remember that you only have one life.
Yeah.
So every moment counts. So you can choose how you're going to spend those moments. Personally, I choose to be actively present. So I'll be spontaneous. Of course, I'll be responsible, because I know, like, to fuel my spontaneity, I need to have like a structure of things to fuel it. But at the same time, I'm like, live life.
Yeah.
Like those moments where you're either walking at 2 a.m. at night, I don't know, or even you're outside, and whatever. Like, there are no permanent structures in life. So don't try to live in a box continuously.
Yeah.
Sometimes just do random things, and it will make you feel alive. And
Yeah, I feel like sometimes you talk in some lyrics, because you said you only got one life.
Do not miss your chance to blow this opportunity, as you're waiting for this opportunity.
Yes. But okay,
Copyright.
something has crystallized for me also that maybe let me just add
Yeah.
as well. I think sometimes you might also be in a place where you are experiencing things working out. You're in your 20s, you're doing the things that, okay, you've gone to school, or you've, done this, or you've gotten married, or, you've gotten this job, or you've built a business. And, your version of happiness and your goals, which are reliant on all these things going, are great. And like, okay, cool, you have things figured out. And in the case that something happens and all those things fall apart, it might feel like these are the things that I believed would would bring me happiness. And now that is just, it doesn't exist anymore, or I don't even know this anymore, it might feel like, will I ever be happy?
Yeah.
Because this is all I've known, this is all I've believed, and I did this right, and I did this, and I learned from this mistake. But will I ever be happy again? And I think I want to share that happiness is deserved. Like, you deserve happiness, and it can come at whatever, like, in fact, it is here with you if you choose it. And in the case that things haven't worked out or things look different, you can shift and build on something else. But like, happiness is deserved. Like, it's not something you earn. It's not something that you have to do this so that I can be. It's something that you choose, no matter how many times your path changes.
I love that, which actually kind of ties into my point. And, I can't not be on this podcast and not talk about the good Lord. But recently I went to church early in the year. And in the sermon, the pastor asked people of different age groups to come on the stage and say something about the decade that they're in. And everyone who came up said, these are the best years of my life. Someone in their 20s, 30s, 40, 50. So everyone who kept coming up kept saying, you guys, you don't even know. 50s is where it's at.
Yeah.
60s is where it's at. 40s is where it's at. 30s is where it's at. 20s is where it's at. And what I took away from that is that wherever you are, that could be the best year. Those could be the best years of your life. It's really up to you to make those the best years of your life. Like Patricia was saying, it's a choice and you have to take it. No one is going to give it to you. No one is going to make it the best year of your life, the best years of your life. It's all for you. So you don't have to wait until you're 30 or until you're 40 or until you're 50. Where you are right now, those could be the best years of your life. It's all for the taking. It's all, choices that you make. I do feel like, yes, there's outside influences that can affect that. But at the end of the day, your life is yours, and it's yours to make whatever you want to make out of it. So you don't have to look at the next decades of your life as daunting big things. Or you could look at it, or you could choose to look at it as, I can't wait till I get 30. I can't wait when I turn 40. I can't wait to turn 50. I can't wait to see what my 60s will bring me. So yeah, I think that's what I would say as my parting shot. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for your wonderful points and everything that you've shared. I feel a lot less. Okay, actually, to be honest, I've never felt anxious about turning 30. But I'm sure someone watching is feeling a little less anxious. So someone already in their 30s or 40s or 50s, wherever, I know they've resonated with at least one thing that each of us or one of us has said. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for dedicating your time to share with us and all of your insights and knowledge. And thank you for watching or listening. If you're listening to us on our audio platforms, if you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, share this with someone who needs to hear it or watch it. And I will see you, or you will hear me, in our next episode. Bye.
And Patricia is selling boob tape.
Where Victor.
Link in bio.
Victor. By the way, mi hata sijauza kitu hapa. Mfanye research yenu, mi sijasema kitu by the way.